Welcome back to another episode of
What Are We Watching?
Oh! Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
What's up, guys?
Not much. How's life?
That's okay.
Okay. It's Jack Nicholson back on the mic.
All right, just got a fresh cut for the
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah, Jack's looking, because we're doing a video for this one, so...
That's why, I want
Yeah,
to look real spiffy.
I know
You
you
see
can
the
see him out
fear in
there.
Keith's eyes
I
when
was
I
like,
said we're
video?
doing video for this one. Yeah,
Look
that's
got that-
real nice.
He's got that high and tight, they made sure they cut all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did go high and tight.
It's nice.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. I mean, you just got to watch out
It's too
for...
hot for all that hair, man.
For all that
Now you just got to
nonsense,
watch
yeah.
out for the sun and the seagulls, and you'll be all right.
That's good advice.
Sun
So,
and seagulls with that cut. Nick's good. He's got
I'm
got
doing
more
all right. I'm
coverage
doing
up
what we
there,
can.
so he'll be all right.
Keith's looking healthy today. It's good to see him
That's
like that.
certainly
Yeah.
not true.
But before we get into this episode, before we dive into the meat and potatoes, if you will, so we're going to be doing things a little different this time around with the format. So we're going to go back to doing our. We'll give you guys some new recommendations. Then we're going to go right through the plot pretty quick. We usually kind of walk everybody through the plot, and we jump in here and there. But we're going to go right through the plot to basically bring everybody up to speed, and then we're just going to chat about it. So let us know if you guys are like this new format. Be sure to share us around. If you could take some time to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube. We have our YouTube channel out there, just to help spread the good word about movies. We'd really appreciate it. And with that, gentlemen, what are we watching this movie if they didn't read?
1987's Predator.
I was just going to do the theme song, but I just couldn't remember how the theme song went to this one.
Oh, the,
Yeah. Maybe if I get better at editing, I'll I'll snap it in there. So Jack's going to do that the whole
Yeah,
episode.
you
I
gotta-
think.
That's all I'm contributing.
You're
We'll clip
fucking
that.
winded. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, clip that in. We'll get Jack recorded on that later and just
They
throw
were
that
like,
in.
wrap it up.
Yeah, we couldn't get the real theme song, but we got something better.
We got something better. Jack's going to do it on a kazoo. So yes, we are covering the 1987 Predator. It was a good one.
Great-
I don't remember what I was
great
about to
movie.
say.
Excellent. This is a perfect, Sunday Father's Day movie.
This is a Jack winner top 3.
I was going to say
This
this
is
was
the
a
ultimate.
confirmed top 3. We talked about it
Yeah.
before.
Yes.
What were your your 3?
Well, Pulp Fiction is my 1. This
And
is
the other one's
this
Balto,
is there.
right? The one with a dog. I'm just kidding.
We
Sorry.
bought a
then-
zoo.
So I have Pulp Fiction,
Life of
Predator,
Timothy
and
Green.
then I might have to put Point Break in there.
Damn. So this is 2 out of your 3 top 3 that we've
Yeah.
now covered on the show.
Yes.
Incredible. But speaking of that, what did we watch outside of this movie?
LOL.
I almost forgot. Who wants to start us off? You guys watch
How
anything
about
cool?
Keith goes?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
No.
All right, I go first.
Yeah.
Me? All right, so I'll go for my movies in the theaters, and then if it's too much, we just cut it off. All right, so I start off with I saw In a Violent Nature. Saw that a couple weeks now.
That's
Or
been-
weeks
That
ago.
one's pretty crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
That's been
movie.
getting like unreal
That's like-
reviews.
That's a POV like killer thing.
Somewhat, yeah.
Kinda?
It's.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but it's.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I saw the trailer for it, I thought it was the new Friday the 13th series because A24 is doing that.
It looks like that.
So that's what I thought
Yeah.
it was.
Well, they do the whole like the opening lake scene in the
Yeah.
trailer. Opening lake scene with like the dock. It's a little foggy. You're like, oh,
It pays
there's
the
a
homage.
dead child in there for sure.
It pays the homage the right way, and I think the Friday the 13th movies. I know a
That
lot
was
of people. I know a lot of people are like,
There's
"Oh yeah,
gotta
that's
be a
like
dead
your
child.
that's like your baby's first horror movie." But like honestly, those movies are incredible for what they are. Anyways, this movie is like a perfect like blend of that with something new. It's like it's not the same at all, but it's like if you took that and you crossed it with an A24 style movie, just something very like ambient, like very low-fi.
Yeah, it was
And
really
then
like
some
low
of the
budget
most-
thing, right?
But some of the most brutal kills I've ever seen.
Really?
There's
That's
one in
crazy.
particular I can't talk about it because I don't want to just like say it. So I was like, oh, cool, now I'm not going to watch it. But it's one of the most inventive things I've ever seen, and I was also just like jaw dropped.
So is it how
And that's
close
saying
is
something.
it
if
So
Keith's
violent.
Yeah.
Jaw dropped.
So
'cause he's
violent.
on a
seen-
scale from Bone Tomahawk scene?
Oh, it's like that.
To
It's like that.
oh, I saw.
man.
Did I just?
It's one of those.
That's
it's
a
one of those.
great
It's one of those
movie,
scenes
Bone
that you
Tomahawk.
just go. Yo,
Like, I'm gonna go take a
Yo,
walk.
what's up, bird? It's like
Damn,
kind of
dude.
like in the Terrifier.
And then I was gonna say or
Yeah,
Terrifier.
It's
God,
like
dude.
it's like that brutal, but it's not like it's done in like it's delivered in just like this is happening.
Yeah.
It's not like there's nothing. It's not overly dramatic. It's just like
Yeah.
holy shit, and then it doesn't stop. Like you're like okay, that's it, and then it just
And you're like, wow, they're really gone.
yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. So what else we got?
I saw that, and then we went and saw down in the city. We saw I saw the TV Glow. That was that's like an indie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know. I
just
think
heard
it's-
about that.
I don't think
It
I
sounds
would-
like a paranormal thing.
It's
is
kind
that,
of.
Is that accurate?
It's like a coming of age, supernatural. I don't know, feeler movie. Like I'm not joking. Like I was feeling like crazy during that movie. Olivia was like, it was okay. I don't know what.
You
I was just like,
went through it.
I was like having
was
like one of them panic,
changed.
and it wasn't because it was like horror in your face. Like Talk to Me was like, I'm having a panic attack because this is the fucking scariest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This was more of just like, it's like too real, too relatable. And
Yeah, I
then
know you said
there's
that
also
about,
some other element in it. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yo, like we just walked
Yeah,
around.
you said you felt weird during Late Night with the Devil.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it a
That's
similar
different.
thing?
No, it's different. That was just
Yeah.
like, I don't think we should be watching this
Yeah.
because it just felt dangerous or
Yeah.
something. Even though it
Yeah.
wasn't.
It seemed a
just
little
like,
too like.
I was like, we shouldn't be like
paranormally.
conjuring up like these,
Yeah.
you know, the owl
Yeah.
and all that shit. We shouldn't be doing this. But
Yeah.
this was just like, I don't know, feel good but feel kind of crazy all at the same time.
Yeah.
And like the cast, like that actor, I forget his name. He's super good. But yeah, she had another movie called We're All Going to the World's Fair, and that came out like the year before. Another kind of just like takes place on the internet, kind of.
Yeah. Did you watch that one? Was
Yeah,
that another
I've
one
seen that one
you
too.
wa-
I just
yeah.
watched those two together because I was like, wow, this director is killing.
That's pretty wild.
But yeah, that movie. So those are what I saw in theaters, and then we went to Mahoney for 13 Ghosts.
Shout out to Mahoney.
Mahoney
nice.
killing it. We went up there. We saw 13 Ghosts, the original and the remake.
Somebody just said, "Hear me out. Do a 13 Ghosts Netflix series with the background of each ghost."
Oh,
That'd be pretty cool.
How sick would that be?
That would be really
fucking
cool.
crazy.
I know.
because they are like
That would be sick.
They only
Like how they
splash
Like
on
a
became-
13 episode
Yeah.
miniseries
Oh
just
my
explaining each
God.
ghost. That would be pretty
That
cool.
would be
so
sick.
awesome.
We
Yeah.
get Jordan Peele to do it.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
something
man.
like that.
He would
Yeah, that'd
crush
be
it.
awesome.
Dude, because all the ghosts are so interesting.
I
They
know.
did,
so
that,
cool.
they did that featurette. They had a featurette
Yeah,
that
that's what
goes that like goes through the background of how
Oh, really?
all the
Oh,
ghosts
yeah.
became. It's like it was a bonus thing
on the on the VHS.
on
or
the
something.
VHS.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. I think they actually have it on YouTube. But
Oh, that's cool.
That would be
Yeah, it is.
sick.
You pointed
Yeah,
it to me.
I follow like these horror pages
Dude.
on Facebook and stuff, and somebody wrote that the other day, and I was like, "Damn, that would
that
be."
would be
You know who's
fucking
got to do it?
awesome.
That dude that did. Who's the guy that does the Blythe Manor shit?
Oh,
What is his name?
oh my God.
Because he just did that. The Poe show. We watched it. Oh my god. I
The
can't
Poe
think-
show.
Yeah, the Edgar Allan Poe show. Oh my god. What is the show? What is the show called? Oh, I'm such an idiot.
I'm gonna let you spin.
I'll
I
come
have
back to
no- I
that.
have
But
no
he just did
idea.
that, and that it
Yeah.
like breaks down all different Poe stories
That's pretty
individually,
cool.
and they all kind of come back together.
But it's in like, is it like a limited series type thing?
Yeah, it's like I think that was like 7 or 8 episodes.
It's pretty cool. But what else? What other movies did you check out?
So we saw The Bike Riders, which is like the true story of the first motorcycle gang in
Oh, was
United
that
States.
good?
That was pretty good.
Was
Tom
that-
Hardy.
Who else is in that?
It's Tom Hardy and what is his name? Oh my god, Austin Butler
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought that was him.
and
He's
Michael
been like
Shannon.
popping up.
I really like Michael Shannon. He's in it, and then Jodie Comer. Yeah, she's the lead girl. She's got this Fargo ass accent. But yeah, that's a good movie. We went
It
to go
was
see
good?
that.
Is that?
Yeah.
That's,
I wanted to
is
see
that.
that.
New? That's in theaters.
That
Still,
just
right?
came out.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
saw it a couple
That's
days
pretty
ago.
By
solid.
the way, Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan
is the guy who.
and the
does
show
all
is
those-
the
Yeah.
Ed
Haunting
Brown
Hill
Flanagan?
House. And then what the hell is that? I saw the show. You probably have it up.
Yeah, Haunting on Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass,
Midnight Mass was good.
The Fall of the House of
Fall
Usher.
of the House Usher. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Oh,
He
okay.
did all
Okay.
those like.
Well, that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, those are all like pretty insane.
Yeah, they were
miniseries.
good. They were good shows.
And then my last physical movie was we went to go see. Me and a couple guys went to go see Reanimator with Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs was doing a weekend at Colonial.
That's pretty
So we went
cool.
to night one.
I'm so,
So he basically
jealous,
did, like, a
dude, that I
Q&A.
missed this.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
he's-
pretty. Oh, I didn't know he was there. That's
yeah.
really cool.
So he introduced the movie, and then he did a Q&A after the movie, and then they did Like, I think there was 9 movies all weekend.
That's pretty awesome.
So we watched Reanimator, and then they did the Black Cat, which is actually a Master of Horrors episode. Same director, Stuart Gordon, same main, and then Jeffrey Combs actually plays Edgar Allan Poe in that. So we watched that over the weekend. I showed Olivia that.
Jeffrey Combs is a Stuart Gordon boy.
Oh yeah, they work together like their whole, pretty much almost all of his career.
I love Reanimator.
And then
that's
we watched
such a good movie.
Castle Freak was also on that night, so I didn't stay for that because it was so late. We just
that's
bounced.
That's a lot going on.
But we watched that. I showed that to Olivia on Saturday. Have you seen that Castle Freak?
Yep,
Oh my god,
I've seen that.
That's pretty sick.
It is a crazy
good
movie.
one.
So you would say were all of these watches? I know you said you watched some new ones.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Everything I want to go
recommend
see.
all those.
Reanimator is an all-time watch.
Yeah.
Everyone should see that movie. That's
pretty
such a
solid.
good movie.
Nice. Do you have any
Yeah,
last
so
ones real quick?
I gotta drop something on here. So
Sure.
a friend of mine told me that they could not believe the movie Skinamarink. So I went back. I promised him a rewatch. I rewatched it. I was like, all right,
What do
I'm
you
gonna go
think?
in because when I went into it, it was like the lore, this is the scariest, craziest movie you're ever gonna see. So we went to the movie theater.
What year was it? Is that like a newer one? Or
Skinamarink?
what's it? Yeah.
I've
never heard of that one.
It's the one I talked about on the podcast. I called it Stinkamarink. It's like one of the first things I ever said I didn't like.
Really?
Yeah, but
That's
I went
pretty
back
funny.
because we went to go see it in theaters because it was like being pushed all over social media. Like, you gotta see this movie. I thought it was gonna be the next like Paranormal Activity.
Oh, I do. I
It
do
is
remember
not that.
this. Yeah.
So he's like, just watch it at home, lights off, by yourself. Don't watch with anybody. Well, by yourself, in front of the TV, just that.
Yeah.
And just watch it, and then see if it's different.
Did it hold up?
And it's way more creepy. The expectations are way different, and it's just like very visceral, very weird. It's not the same kind of nightmare I had as a kid, or it probably would have been different. But I get it now. And I'm like, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Do I recommend it to anybody? Probably not. I don't think anybody's really gonna have a good time with it.
Yeah.
Somebody might like feel something crazy.
Dude, someone's at home fuming right now after they just heard that.
So I did that. Okay, and I'll just finish it off with my David Lynch love. So I had watched Wild at Heart before the last one.
So this is 1 week from since we recorded.
Yeah. So then I went back and I watched.
I didn't mean to call you out like that for all these movies.
Well, no, Wild at Heart was I think I
Yeah.
watched that before Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Laura Dern's in it. So
Yeah.
I watched it then. But then I recently went back. I watched Eraserhead, which
That's
is one of the
crazy
craziest movies
movie.
I've ever seen. And then, honestly, on the rewatch again, so as a kid, I didn't fucking understand anything that was happening. I was like, this is stupid. As an adult, I was like, I kind of get it. I watched it again as an adult, and I was like, yo, this movie's nuts. And it's just like, as long as you just are cool with not understanding everything, it'll
be
insane.
fine. Yeah, it's
So I
pretty
did that,
fun.
and then I got Lost Highway on 4K, so I rewatched that. That movie's fucking insane. I love it.
What movie was that?
It's called
Mhm.
Lost Highway. It's another
good-
Lynch.
Yeah.
And then I watched. I started Twin Peaks, so I started with Fire Walk with Me, the extended blue rose cut. This time, it's like it adds an hour of like all this additional stuff.
That's pretty cool.
And then started with the season 1. So I finished season 1. I'm on season 2 now, but I'm like, oh man, I'm just back in, baby.
Dude, you gotta
I do love that
dive
show.
aggressively into X-Files after that.
That's actually
It's
my goal.
so good. You'll
That's actually my
probably
goal.
catch up to me, but yeah, it's
It's
so
I want
good.
to at least watch season 1 and 2 of X Files, but then I
Yeah.
also want to watch some Tales of the Crypt. There's this other
Next
show.
time we get on, Keith's gonna be like, "So I finished X Files."
yeah.
Nah, I don't really watch that many shows just because it's just hard for me to like keep my focus. I will say though, we've been watching House of Dragons. It's pretty sick. It's like Olivia's favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty in on it.
It's the I
Season
guess
2's
the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Yeah. It started out hot. We're 2 episodes in. It's
Yeah.
good. But then one last thing, we started Interview with a Vampire, the show.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
The
I
show.
thought the movie.
Oh, the
I was
movie's
like,
incredible.
movie's great,
I love the
but
movie.
yeah,
I was like kind of weary on the show, but Grey Worm from from Game of Thrones is actually the main, and
oh, that's pretty cool.
and
he did a
that
great
show,
job in that show.
That show is actually sick.
Yeah.
Like we watched, like Olivia said, that, yeah, supposedly this show's insane. So we watched the first episode. I was like, holy shit!
It was where can
I think it's on
the
AMC
people
Plus.
find it?
Okay.
Or on Shudder. It was on one of those things.
That's not bad.
I think it was on Shudder. Yeah, we were watching on Shudder.
Okay.
That's pretty solid.
But yeah, that show.
We should get, just as a side note, as a show, we should just pay for every streaming service and we all have the password just so we have access
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
I'll give you guys any of mine. I
Yeah.
don't give a.
And if
I'll
anyone
never-
from any
I'll
one of
never
these
do
companies is listening,
that. Yeah, we pay for all.
we
of
are
our
not
services.
doing that.
Yeah.
That's
I've never accepted a free movie in my
Um,
life.
yeah.
Well, that's a good list, dude.
That is a good list.
What did
I'm
you
I
sorry,
have-
that was
I have
way
one.
too fucking long. I'm sorry about that. You can
No,
cut like
dude,
half of that. If
I
you
loved
want.
it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to make up for the 2 movies that I watched. So I watched Remember the Titans.
Oh,
I don't know
great
why.
movie.
It was one of those ones where I was like, I need to watch this movie.
That's a good movie.
It's a great movie, but I had an urge that I was like, I need to watch Remember the Titans.
It's like a feel-good
like out of
movie,
nowhere.
Yeah, you gotta follow. You gotta follow the urge. If it's there, if it's ticking in your brain, you gotta scratch it.
Yeah, it was one of those movies I just like threw it on. I was like playing some video games, and I was like, man, what an awesome movie
killing
this
me,
is.
Petey.
Killing me. And then so I did that, which is incredible. I think like every time I watch that movie, I'm like, oh yeah, Denzel is incredible. Like there's a reason he is as insane as he is. Like he is so good. It's hard to not like him in anything that he does. And then I also watched Kicking and Screaming because Emily and I love that movie.
Oh yeah, you do like that movie.
That's just like such a comfort movie. Have you seen that? The Will Ferrell Kicking and Screaming. So he's like,
where he's the soccer.
He's the soccer coach. Yeah, and
that's a funny one.
The line that always kills us is he buys them birds after they win their first game, and he's like, they're like, what are these? He's like, they're finches. The kid goes, so we have to keep them? He goes, no, you get to keep them. And Emily and I say that to each other all the time. Both are just like really, I mean, they're really great movies. Kicking and Screaming is, if you haven't seen it, it's just like classic. It came out in the same time as like Old School, like those same years. Right? So it's like that style of Will Ferrell, but they were like, oh, make a kids movie. Like don't be naked, don't do anything. Like, but yeah, that movie was really funny. So it was really just those two, and then we finished Daisy Jones and the Six.
Okay,
it's an Amazon show. It's like a rock mini series basically about a band in the 70s.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like loosely based on Fleetwood Mac, but it was really it's a book that Emily read, and the series was incredible. It's on Amazon. And then I've just X-Files and just like seeking the truth basically. If anyone has an idea of where I can get X-Files merch, like shirts and stuff.
I got you.
I looked on that one.
I got another
website.
one for you. Do you like the Fluke Man?
The what?
I think he's in season 2. The Fluke Man. He's like the amphibious looking guy.
Oh,
I found a shirt of that.
Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty cool.
Scary looking.
It is frightening. Yeah,
I have found random ones. I'll send you.
But if anyone is listening and they know,
you want like
a
nice long sleeve, right?
Yeah,
with the print.
Yeah. That's I wear a long sleeve.
No, but I love
the print. Yeah,
like the long print on the sides.
Yeah, that's cool.
There was one. It was like it basically just had like X-Files right here, like where a pocket would be, and then on the side it said "The truth is out there," and I was like,
"That's beast."
Oh, that's sick. But I couldn't find it. But anyway,
do you have a favorite monster, like or is
one
this on the
one
spot?
of the favorite episodes that has like I thought that I would like something more? The AI episode. Do you remember that one?
Nah, I have to rewatch.
It's like early. This guy like builds a machine that like learns and turns evil, and they're like, "But artificial intelligence is so far away," and I'm like, "Fucking hell yeah, brother!" Like it's just really cool because it's like I love like 90s and 80s computer technology, like that whole like circuit boards and like everything like beep, beep, beep,
like lawnmower man.
Like I love all of that stuff. Like the car, like they tried to make it look futuristic, but you're like, you just put light bulbs on that little thing. Like
you guys thought this is where we'd be in the future.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I did. Jack,
nice.
What do you got?
So the other night, me and two of my buddies got on. We watched True Romance. That movie is just incredible. I hadn't watched it in a while, like from beginning to end, and it's just fantastic. Like Tarantino wrote it, you can tell that's like Tarantino's.
Is he credited for that? Wasn't that one that he was like?
He wrote it and then he sold it to Tony Scott.
He sold it, yeah.
Okay, so he didn't direct it.
Yeah, actually, Tony Scott. I said this in the Reservoir Dogs, but Tony Scott wanted to direct. He gave him Reservoir Dogs and True Romance.
Yeah,
and he was like, "I want Reservoir Dogs," and Tarantino was like, "Eh."
You
can have True Romance. But he did a great job with it. I mean, there's so many people in that, and there's a scene in that with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper, and it's like one of the best scenes in movie history, I think.
Yeah.
So that was good. Definitely a watch.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
I watched, so on a suggestion from a buddy from work, I watched Lawless with Tom Hardy and Shia LaBeouf.
That was like 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
Just like,
your standard like Western
Prohibition era, like where, and Guy Pearce is in it and plays the biggest fucking asshole, and it's really good. I'd say it's a great movie. Hardy is great. He's like a badass dude in that.
Yeah.
like he always is usually.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
man.
he lives up to his own hype, man.
Then, here comes something, a pass, and I never do this.
Everybody tune in.
I watched the new movie Hitman with Glenn Powell, and I like Glenn Powell. He's one of my new guys that I like.
Really?
But he was good. The movie, I thought, sucked. And Aaron turned to me and said, I hate this movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing, to me, there's nothing that happens. Like, it's literally like you keep waiting for, like, all right, they're going to be on the run now. They're going to do this. Like, it just,
the movie just
shoe
happens.
never drops.
Yeah.
And the actress is horrible.
Damn.
So it just was bad.
I gotta say something here.
Yeah, I would love to hear
He told me and the boys this.
Yeah.
And me and Sean both watched it.
Yeah.
And we were like, in my head, I was like, oh, this is a Jack movie. He said this,
And it
we
wasn't.
were both like, what the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah.
Jack went hard. He was
That's
like, no.
brutal.
And like,
Is Glenn your new Leo?
No.
nah.
No.
All right,
That's
I just
his
had to
honey
sneak-
boy, dude. You don't,
Let's
you
not
don't
go
mess
that
with
far.
I just had to sneak that in there.
I also saw this movie. I thought it was. I mean, I'm gonna watch it once ever.
Yeah.
But I thought it was decent. You said there's no action. He's like a school teacher that's a part-time fake hitman for the cops.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
people
People
die.
can watch it and
You
judge
decide.
for themselves, but I
Send us
just
an
I
email.
thought it was so
Yeah.
boring. Like,
And I couldn't go further away with the actress. I thought she was awesome.
I thought she sucked, dude.
Damn.
And I've
like
been
this
hearing
new
a lot
up-and-comer.
of backlash.
I was like,
about
damn,
her.
yeah, she's
Really?
Yeah.
she's
So
good.
if you agree with Jack
Through
or
my
disagree
through my pipeline.
through his network,
It's just funny that this
Yeah.
is the first Discord that they're
I'm on a
watching me
movie
at. And it's like
podcast, all right?
it's like a Netflix original movie that like I'll never watch again.
Yeah.
But I just was like, oh,
you're like that happened.
But the funny thing is, like, Sean was like saying to me, like, "Oh, I can't believe this! Like, I can't believe you didn't like this." And like, I just was laughing because I'm like, "You guys say I like everything, and now I say I hate something." And you guys like, "What?"
well,
You
I
hate
think
something?
I think it just took him by
Get a load of
surprise.
Jack.
Because we slog through some of the biggest horse shit of all time.
Yeah.
And Jack will be like, he'll like find the silver lining. This one, he's
Yeah,
like,
he's an optimist.
he'll find the
That's
silver
nice.
lining in it, and I'm the same way. I'll find the silver lining in just about anything. But
Yeah.
he's like, fuck this movie, and I was like, what?
Whoa. Yeah.
and
Do you
then-
think we got to get Sean on here so that we can hear his take?
Yeah.
All right, that was just a plug to
We
get him
should,
on the
we
show.
should.
So Sean, if you're listening, we're coming for you.
But we and then the last thing I watched, we finished Ted Lasso. And
Nice. That was your second rewatch, right?
No, just
this was the first time.
And I loved it. I thought it was like such a feel good show. Like, all the characters were really cool. I don't know, I love the show. So we both loved it, me and Aaron. So
Yeah, I've been
we
hearing
finished
so many
that
good
and-
things about it. It's like we're gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah,
but-
it's like I didn't know. I'm not a big soccer guy, so I was like, I don't know if I would like it. But everything that happened, like, soccer's a part of it, but there's so much more to it than
Yeah.
just soccer. So it's really good.
that's pretty solid.
But that's all I've really watched.
I think we had some good movies though this
Oh, yeah,
time
for
around.
sure.
I thought that was solid.
A lot of watches and one pass.
And one pass, and then we had one maybe from Keith, but
What was it, maybe?
this is the one that you were like, you don't have to watch Skidder.
No, Skidamore. Yeah, don't watch it.
Okay,
Unless you know if you're gonna watch it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're that,
you know yourself.
That's your-
Yeah, you
like,
know yourself.
you're not gonna take the reco from me. You're gonna have seen it by yourself if that's your thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But on to the main event. Let's dive back into Predator.
Oh, that's where we were. Predator.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, we do a movie on the movie podcast.
So Predator, directed by John McTiernan. He did Die Hard, The Hunt for Red October, Last Action Hero. He did a lot.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
a
I
I
good
didn't realize that he
filmography.
did so
Yeah.
many.
He's a good action director.
Oh,
ain't he?
sure. So this movie, the release date, it was June 12th, 1987, 107 minutes long. The budget is, the numbers that I'm seeing here, between 15 and 18 million, and the box office, 98.3 million. So, I mean, this was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but then you look at, like, if you look at the poster, it's like, come on. Like, they knew.
Who's not
Dude,
seeing
Yeah,
that-
like, who's
that
not
freaking-
seeing this movie? It's insane.
Arnold with the AR and then that freaking Predator vision behind him.
They have, like, the pixelated graphics. Like, it's just so cool.
It just says Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
on the
just like
top.
all, like, come on.
Yeah.
So who do you guys want to go over the cast?
Yeah, I can take it.
Sure.
So, top billing, obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch. One of the greatest characters.
What a nickname.
Yeah. Carl Weathers. Our second Carl Weathers movie in a row.
It's true. True.
He's
very different role from Chubbs
Yeah,
Peterson,
it
I
is.
would say.
He's Dylan. Then we got Bill Duke is Mac.
Nice.
Yep. Jesse Ventura, Jesse the Body, is Blaine. Sonny Landham is Billy. Richard Chavez is Poncho.
Another great name.
Yep. Shane Black is Hawkins.
True.
R.G. Armstrong is the General.
Oh, at the very
General
beginning.
Phillips,
yeah.
And then Kevin Peter Hall plays the Predator,
Yeah.
which it was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme.
But he was a huge bitch about it,
Yeah,
apparently.
and they fired him.
He's like, you won't see my face, you won't see me. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I heard that he was, amongst what Keith just said, having the mask on, he was like, I mean, at the time, he was another, like, big action star. And he was like, I don't want to wear a fucking mask the whole time.
Yeah.
And he was also really short, too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when they stacked him up next to Arnold and, like, Carl Wett, like, some of the other cast, they were like, he doesn't look so aggressive.
Yeah,
Like,
Kevin Peter Hall is like...
He's 7'2".
Yeah, he was
Was
in...
he 7'2"?
Yeah, that's what Nick pulled up today. 7'2".
And he was in Harriet and the Hendersons.
He plays
Too.
Harry.
He
Oh,
played-
really?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was? I
Same
didn't
year.
know that.
7'2".
Same
Yeah,
year.
that's-
He just plays Giants.
I mean, he looks great when he goes up against Arnold. Like,
He looks
That's the
sick,
thing. I feel like
yeah.
in most
He's so
movies,
tall.
like they like obfuscate height on purpose. So like make
Yeah.
someone look small or make someone look big. In this movie, he's just that fucking.
He's
big.
just huge. Well, there's the
Yeah.
scene, and we'll get into this at the end, when he's holding Arnold up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
I know.
And they pan
That
away, and
guy's
he's a
huge.
Yeah.
His feet are at his
Yeah.
calves. You're like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But he did a good job. He also played the helicopter pilot in this movie, too.
Yeah, he
had
did.
a double,
yeah,
he had a double
McTiernan
role.
gave him a
Classy
for
move.
doing so good on the
Yeah.
Predator.
It's like,
For
we'll
being
get your-
so
Dude,
tall.
you can be on without a mask.
He's like, we'll get your mug in here too. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, I swear I was in the Predator costume. You're like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, sure.
Kev.
You were just a pilot. Okay.
Okay, Kev.
That's
Nice
wild.
work, dude.
That's insane. But yeah, I mean, the cast is so
Yeah,
good.
cast. I mean, the crew. This crew that Arnold has is just amazing.
Yeah, the six, like the six guys
Yeah.
or whatever. Or I guess it's maybe more than that.
And Bill Duke is awesome. He's also a director.
Is
Yeah.
he really?
Yeah, he did. The two movies that I can think of off the top of my head are Hoodlum and Deep Cover.
Oh, okay.
Two Larry Fishburne movies. He
And-
has a whole bunch of movies, but those are the
And
ones I
Bill
like.
Duke was in Commando with
Yeah.
Arnold.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 85, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I just watched that one recently.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you want to get into Arnold's 80 run,
Yeah. Do you just have like the movies that? So this was again 87.
87, yeah.
So this was being filmed 85, 86, 87, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
So
so-
he
Like
starts
what
with,
was he in the? He was in the middle of doing so much
He
shit.
starts with
Like,
Conan before that. Conan's the first 80s thing, right? Conan.
And then he does Twins.
He does Conan the Barbarian. He does Conan that's 82. Conan the Destroyer 84. Terminator 84.
yeah, like come on, dude. Which
Red,
they for
Red
this
Sonja
movie,
85 with Commando in 85. He did Raw Deal in 86. Predator and Running Man in 87.
Jesus, that's insane.
And then he did Red Heat and Twins in 88.
That's what
Like he's just
doing.
ripping
He's
two
just double
movies.
billing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if you want to go Total Recall and Kindergarten
Yeah.
Cop in 90,
In 90.
which is like
in literally a 10-year span, he
Yeah.
did incredible. And then he was a governor.
and they did Terminator 2
Yeah.
91. But like
And then Last Action Hero, right? Is that 93?
yeah, Last Action Hero is 93.
Yeah.
True Lies is 94.
It's crazy.
Like
It's
holy
just- it just
fuck,
keeps
dude.
going.
It doesn't
this guy
stop.
was just killing it.
So they were to film this when they originally booked Arnold. They had to actually push back the filming of this by a little bit because he was in so much other shit too, which I just think is like pretty cool. But there was what I was going to say. They had Terminator. Some of the special effects guys from Terminator also worked on this movie
Oh, really?
too. So
Nice.
it's like if you look at some of the practical effects and stuff like that, you can kind of see some similarities. But it's because it was the same people.
Yeah.
Apparently, they had an original like Predator costume and they hated it, so they had another one made.
Oh, okay.
So there was like they basically brought in a lot of the same people that had
This is
worked
one of
with
those
Terminator.
badass costumes I've ever
Oh,
seen.
it's so
yeah.
good.
It's amazing.
Like it's just so, and even watching it now, it's still once the reveal, you're like,
Yeah.
what the? This is the coolest
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, it's
is
it's
cool.
it's insane. Did you guys have any like production notes before we get started, like just on the filming and stuff like that?
No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can just kind of dive right into this one. It was so good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I am going to just blow through the plot. You won't hear any interruptions from myself or any of the other crew.
Yeah,
I guess that's you guys.
I'll shut my yapper.
No, because I know like I'm going to be like, oh, I could put in a fact here, but we're going to try this something new here. All right. 3, 2, 1. So, the beginning of the movie. An alien spacecraft deploys a shuttle to Earth where Vietnam War veteran Major Alan Schaefer, who goes by Dutch, that's Arnold, and his military rescue team, consisting of Mac, Pancho, Blaine, Billy, and Hawkins, are tasked with rescuing a foreign cabinet minister and his aide from communist insurgents in... I guess it's just like a generic South American country.
Yeah, I read
it's
made up. I forget what it's called.
It's made up.
It's made up. It's supposed to be like a Central America, South America, but it's like made up for the movie.
Gotcha.
I guess I didn't want to piss anybody off. I don't know.
That's fair. So, CIA officer Al Dillon, a Vietnam War buddy of Dutch's, is assigned to accompany the team over Dutch's objections. En route, the team discovers the wreckage of a helicopter and 3 skinned corpses. Dutch identifies them as Green Berets, who he knew, and he becomes suspicious of Dillon's intentions on basically why he wanted them to be there. The team reaches a guerrilla camp, or the guerrilla camp. These are kind of the evil people. They just refer to them as like, oh, we have some guerrillas, which is basically just like rogue militant groups.
They're criminals!
They're criminals. He reaches the guerrilla camp and witnesses the execution of a hostage. He assumes it's one of the hostages that they were supposed to be saving. So this leads to them mounting an attack, killing most of the rebels, and several who you would find out would be Soviet intelligence officers. Dutch confronts Dillon, who reveals the true mission was to stop a planned Soviet-backed invasion, and that the CIA, who Dillon is working for, sent the Green Berets that they'd found unfortunately skinned. They sent them in weeks earlier to do the same mission, and they failed. So essentially, Dillon sent this group in, Arnold's group, because they knew they could, quote, get the job done. The only surviving member of this rebel group is named Anna. She is captured. Learning that more rebels are coming, the team chooses to basically go to the extraction point. They're just trying to get out of Dodge and throwing their hands up at this point. Unbeknownst to them, they're stalked by an entity employing a cloaking device and thermal imaging technology. It's kind of overlaid with some of the regular scenes. You see this kind of like weird like humming going on, and it's like thermal images and stuff like that, unbeknownst to the group. At this point in the movie, Billy catches a glimpse of it while they're trekking back, is trying to further investigate it. He creates a situation where Anna, their captive, attempts to escape, and essentially all hell breaks loose. Hawkins catches her, but the creature attacks and kills him while sparing Anna. Dutch organizes a search party, but Blaine is killed by the creature's plasma cannon, so you're kind of finding out now that he has multiple weapons, this alien being. Enraged, Mac provokes everyone to blindly fire their weapons into the jungle, unknowingly wounding the creature. The creature administers first aid to itself, having been wounded. The commando group regroups and realizes that they're being hunted at this point in the movie. Dillon believes guerrillas are responsible, but Billy is adamant that their pursuer is not human. They make camp for the night and set traps, which are triggered by a wild boar. In the basically ensuing confusion, the creature ends up stealing Blaine's body. Dutch realizes that the new enemy uses the trees to travel and is responsible for killing the Green Berets. He frees Anna, who states that her people have seen similar mutated bodies before and that they also had no idea what was going on. The group constructs a net trap to capture the creature, but it frees itself and Pancho is injured. Mac and Dillon pursue it, but are outmaneuvered and killed. As the survivors flee, the creature quickly catches up to them and kills Billy and Pancho in an incredible standoff where I believe it is Billy who takes his shirt off and cuts his chest with a knife, but we will get into that. Realizing it does not attack unarmed individuals, Dutch tells Anna to get to the chopper. He attempts to distract the creature by fleeing, but is essentially followed into a muddy riverbank, and now Arnold is covered head to toe in mud. The creature fails to see him, and he leaves to collect trophies from the other bodies. Dutch realizes that the cool mud provides camouflage for his body heat. This is kind of connecting two parts of the movie where you see the thermal imaging from the point of view of the creature, and then the people just trying to not get killed by said creature. After crafting makeshift traps and weapons, Dutch lures the creature into an ambush the following night. He lightly injures it and disables its cloaking device before the creature fires into the forest wildly. So he's still covered with mud, and you can tell that this is the first time that the creature is basically unsure of what to do. Trying to escape, Dutch accidentally falls into the river where the water dissolves his muddy camouflage. As the creature corners Dutch, it removes its mask and plasma cannon to fight him hand to hand, having deemed him a worthy opponent, which I think is like in the whole lore of the Predator and who they are, which is, I love the idea that they're just searching for a worthy foe, which is just awesome.
So
Overpowered, Dutch attempts to trap the creature and lure him into one of his booby traps that he set. He spots the traps and goes around it, but Dutch triggers a secondary trap, which is essentially a counterweight, and crushes the creature. Mortally wounded, Dutch decides to mercy kill the creature, but asks what it is first. So he has no idea. This is the first time you're seeing a bloody face of this creature. The creature surprisingly repeats the question back to him in like a muddled, weird, electronic, awesome voice. The creature then activates a self-destruct device on his little iPad attached to his arm. Sorry, I had to throw that one in there. Imitating Billy's laugh as it counts down. Upon realizing what it has done, Dutch realizes that, oh shit, he's about to blow something up. He runs and barely escapes a massive explosion. The final scene in the movie, it is now dawn, and Dutch is rescued by a helicopter, the same one that Anna was essentially fleeing to, his rescue team. And Anna was already safely on board. The movie kind of ends with him being visibly traumatized by the events, and that is the end of Predator.
So he got to the chopper.
He got to the chopper, yes.
he did get there. Yeah.
How did I do with that one?
That was good.
That was good.
All right, nice.
Now
Let's
I can-
freaking talk
now
about
I can-
this goddamn
now
movie.
I can just go home now.
Now,
Yeah.
First of all, I love the beginning where it's like it just like has the space like view, and then just pops up Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Da-da," and Predator
Yeah.
jumps up, and you're just like, oh fuck, dude, this is about to go off. And then like you see the space shuttle come in, drop the pod.
They like don't explain. I feel like this is something that's really common in like, I don't know if it's newer movies feel they need to over-explain things. But like if you watch movies like this, another movie that I watched, Assault on Precinct 13.
Oh,
the
nice.
Carpenter movie. I feel like a lot of these older action movies, they're like, oh, the plot is happening. Like you're like just join us. Like
That's another movie
there's
that has-
no
Yeah.
like lead up. There's no like we found this alien thing. They're just like fucking dump this pod in, send Arnold in, and then try and kill him.
Yeah, because like the pod goes, you see it go through the atmosphere, and then literally the next scene is just them getting to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so badass, that scene when
It
they
is.
all pull up and they're just out there with their duffel bags.
Yeah.
And then they show Schwarzenegger in the fucking helicopter, just
yeah.
lighting the cigar, dude. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh,
he was in
dude.
his prime. Is sick.
Oh yeah.
All these lines are just so. We talked about this right before, but like the one-liners in this movie are just so awesome. Like it's incredible.
But that's another movie, Assault, for
Yeah.
some of the best music ever. This has some of my favorite music. Just
Oh,
that,
the
that
music's
theme,
awesome.
Yeah.
and it cuts back in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Assault, the Assault on Precinct 13 theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the
it's awesome. They do such a good job with it.
That's
Yeah.
like some of the best music ever.
He did the guy that did the music for this one, he did all the music for Back to the Future, Who Framed Robert Rabbit, Death Becomes Her, Forrest Gump,
Oh,
Castaway, Polar Express.
Yeah,
he
he's good.
The Abyss, Father of the Bride.
Oh
He's
my God.
done so much.
Alvin
Yeah.
Silvestri, right?
Yeah,
Or
Alan
Silvestri.
Silvestri. Yep. Wow, that was really
Yeah.
good. Did you have that? in
I
your
just
notes?
remember from last night because me and
okay.
Olivia were talking about it because she's like, I just kept going into it. She's like, yeah, this score is like, because we
It's
don't really
crazy.
talk about music that much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like the score is just so good.
The score is incredible. Yes. What other scenes are we talking about? What else we got?
Well, so after they hit the beach, it shows Dutch talking to the general.
Oh yeah, it's been too long. Okay.
Yeah. And he's like telling him like about the mission.
He's
Yeah.
got that fresh like 4X polo on.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Is that
that
the part?
thing's
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
Dude, that makes you look
That
so
red polo. Yeah.
And then he's like, why use us? Why not use the regular army? And then this is where you see Carl Weathers, and he goes, because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Oh, it's so good.
He's like Dylan,
Yeah, he's like, Dylan!
and then they hit the.
They hit
Yeah, then
get it on. Nice. I don't know if you got that. I'll
They
boost
know
that
what it is. They
volume
heard
up.
it. It's the best handshake of all time.
He's like,
It's
you
also it's
son
like
of
the meme format where it's like the two arms and it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. Use your imagination with
and
the meme.
he's like, you son of a bitch.
yeah.
And then they're like playing, like arm wrestling with each other.
Yeah,
in the air.
I
I've
thought
never
Yeah,
seen
in
this
the
before.
air.
it's a weird technique. They did that, and I was like, I fucking love that scene. And then it like keeps going, and you're like, wow, this is they're
Yeah.
really holding that
Dad,
pause.
stop,
That's
Dad,
awesome.
stop.
He's
Barry?
like, what's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils.
Yeah.
It's
It's like when
good.
two dads meet each other at the grill, like three beers deep. They're like,
Yeah.
fucking Tim,
Honey,
dude.
just let him go, honey.
They're like, oh, looking a little soft there.
He's not getting me again. I got it.
He's not
He
getting
clocked
me.
me last time at the last bar, but he's
Yeah.
gonna fucking get him this time. Yeah, his
get him.
kids are gonna be disrespecting him when they get home.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No. Yeah, what else did you got? What
No, I
other
was
scenes
just
are you
saying, I
talking about?
love this in movies where like, and this happens like 2 or 3 times in this movie when they talk about something that has happened
Yeah.
that you don't know, like it just sounds awesome, but
Yeah.
you don't know what it, like, because he's like, oh, why'd you pass up on on Libya? Like,
Yeah.
come on, buddy, why'd you pass on Libya? And he goes, we're a rescue team, not assassins.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that scene is so
dude.
cool.
I'm like, because then you think about like what that was, and you're like, holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Well, I think it's also like a little later in the movie, like when the scene where he finds out after, like, oh, you were just here, like, we weren't here to rescue anyone, like
Yeah.
there wasn't anyone to rescue. I think it like amplifies why he was so mad because he was like, you knew this wasn't the type of work my team did.
Yep,
Like,
yeah.
fuck you. So I read that his team, they were supposed to be like a private military group. Like they're
Yeah.
not, they're just like contractors, right? Is that essentially what you're supposed to think?
They're like
they-
the
Well,
Expendables
they're
before
like
the
a
Expendables.
they're a rescue team.
Is
Yeah,
that why he
like-
says everyone you're
I think
expendable?
I don't know. I feel like
I would
the
love if that-
Expendables came from that, but I don't know.
I would love if
So they
that's where it
send
came
them
from.
in like when they need to rescue people.
Yeah.
but
They think the whole time they're just saving people. They don't.
yeah, they
realize.
think
Yeah.
they're trying to save like hostages, basically.
Yeah. But dude, I love their whole team dynamic too.
Yeah.
It's like that helicopter ride where they're like actually going into the jungle
Oh,
and they're all
dude,
just like
that's
chilling
the next
there.
scene. Yeah, it's
I
so
love
good.
it.
Yeah,
It's-
so I feel like the beginning of this reminds me of like the Thing intro,
Yeah.
where you get the spaceship, you get that cool burn-in effect,
Yeah.
and then it goes right into like an Apocalypse Now kind of style,
Yeah.
where it's like, or Apocalypse Now or Platoon, where you get the whole squad's getting together, like, all right, what's happening?
What's
here?
the deal?
But it's like it's like that. So I feel like
Yeah.
if you don't know about this movie, like if you didn't know what the Predator was, right? You didn't know,
Yeah.
like you're in this movie, 45 minutes in, you're still thinking, they're just fucking up like
Yeah.
terrorists or these
or
criminals.
something.
It's just like a war.
You think it's just like Arnold? You think it's like Arnold's
Yeah.
Rambo?
You
It's
really
essentially
haven't
what
fucking-
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You haven't seen,
Yeah.
and I guess
So
like
it's like a while before you actually see the Predator too,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the actual
it takes
creature.
a while.
I think the first time, isn't it when it gets injured and you see it? You basically see it get injured after like
Yeah.
the first like spray and pray.
Are you
type,
talking
like-
about see like the actual Predator?
The
Talk
actual-
about, like,
yeah, because all you
Yeah.
see is that like
camouflage.
Oh yeah, I guess you do see the
all you
camouflage.
see is
Because
you see the camouflage.
The
kinda early.
camouflage. Well, first you see his view
Yeah, like the thermal
because he's
camera.
like he's looking.
Yeah.
And it's like.
And then you hear
Yeah.
and then you hear him like repeat anytime.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Ooh. He's like picking up on it.
But
It's
then
pretty
you
cool.
see him like the shadow, or the camouflage,
Yeah.
and then you see his hand first because he picks up the scorpion,
Yeah.
Oh, that's when you get
and
that.
then you
anytime.
see the hand, and you're like, oh shit!
like, oh,
like
what
what
is
the
this
fuck
guy?
is that?
So yeah, that's a sick scene too. When
Yeah.
after they find out that they're basically were sent in as like contract killers.
Yeah.
I can't remember what character does it, but he comes up behind Carl Weathers with a knife.
it's Bill Duke, yeah.
Bill,
yeah.
and then he turns around. He's like, he's like thinks he's gonna stab him,
Yeah.
and he like jabs real quick, and then he holds it up, and there's just a dead scorpion on it, and you're
Yeah.
like, these guys are fucking badass. Like, oh
And I love the chopper scene, like when they
Yeah,
are
this-
coming in.
yeah,
Oh, and it's that red light.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it's
like
so
they're
fun
all
to
just
see.
doing their own thing
yeah.
to get
They
ready
got the
for
boombox
like
blasting in the back.
yeah, it's
like
long tall Sally's playing.
Yeah.
And they're just like they're all just doing their thing, like they're putting their or their
Like camouflage
camo
on,
on,
yeah.
and then like
It's like their intro to their crew.
yeah.
They don't. It's not like, hey, this is so and so, but like everyone has their own little bit.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
And I love when he has the tobacco,
yeah.
and he's like, "This stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus."
Yeah,
And then,
and his dumb hat. I hate that
yeah,
thing.
and Poncho's like, "Strap this on your sore ass, Blaine."
Yeah,
And they're all just like, you could tell like they've done so many jobs together.
Yeah.
And like Bill Duke shaving, like dry shaving.
He does that all throughout this movie. I
Yeah,
don't
what's
get
up
it.
with that?
And then Poncho throws the thing at Hawkins while he's reading. He catches it, and he's just like,
he's just smiling. Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, like these guys are just
they're badass,
all doing their shit.
Yeah.
And then Dutch is just doing he lights a cigar, right?
Dutch is like just sitting there, and he's just like, and then also he's like, he gets like the call.
Oh,
the
the call.
Like, okay, and he does this hand motion.
Yeah,
just like they're like, okay, they switch the light off from red to off, and they're just like turn off the radio, and they're like, here we go,
it's game time. But I think I do like this movie. I think it's like the way they broke up, like just the movie in general. I think is really cool. They have like I almost think of this as like 3 parts. It's like the original mission.
Yeah,
it wasn't what they thought. Arnold versus the creature, and so I think it's like they do a really good job of breaking this movie up. So like I feel like you get really attached to the crew, but then like the kills in this movie are also sick.
I like when they drop into the jungle.
Yeah,
and Dylan goes, Carl Weathers goes, never knew how much I missed this, Dutch. And then he goes, you never were that smart. Right before they were dropping it, that's so good.
Just like roasting
like
each
Arnold's quotes are just fucking.
It's just one line.
Top notch.
Yeah, there was the one line. I don't know why like all my fun facts have been around the part where they like kill all the gorillas, quote unquote.
Oh, that part, I love that part.
Yeah, well,
that part's so good.
Long,
dude, it's
too.
fucking crazy. Yeah, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's
I watched
insane.
Dead Meat's video of it. I watched because he'll count how many kills are in each movie. Usually it's like, oh, there's 10 kills in this horror movie.
Yeah,
there's like I think there's 60 kills in that scene.
Yeah,
like he like slowed it down to watch all the people die. He's like, he's like, if you count people actually like quote unquote dying, getting shot, blown up, whatever. He's like, there's like 60 kills in this one scene.
It's insane,
dude. When he lifts that truck up,
oh, it's awesome.
And then you just see Jesse the body go, what the fuck?
He puts the explosive in it.
He puts the fucking explosive on it. Just
picks
They're
it up,
like
the
guy gets in it to try to drive. He's like, no.
He's deadlifting the truck that has no back. He's just walking with it.
Yeah, it's insane.
I do love that. Like, I like to think that they were like, we gotta show the people how strong Arnold is.
Yeah, Olivia's like,
we gotta show them.
Olivia's like, do you think he actually picked that up and carried it? And I was like, fuck yeah, he
did.
They probably told him he wasn't allowed to. There's probably in his agreement that he can't. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, guys.
He's like, call him the stunt double.
He's like, he's like, I have an Olympic bodybuilding.
I am the Austrian oak. I will move anything if I want.
Dude, I love when they're like shooting. Like they're shooting the grenades.
Oh
and
yeah,
and you just hear the guys go, oh, as they like fall out of the
it's like so comical.
Dude, and it's brutal. It's like it reminds me of Commando.
Yeah,
with some of those shots, the way that there's just like that close warfare with just lots of bullets, just lots of bullets,
just tons of bullets,
incredible bullets.
Yeah, because he sees the hostage get killed. That's what sets it all off.
That's kind of brutal. It just gets popped.
Yeah, it's just popped, and then he's like, he killed the hostage. We move now, and they like all go in, and it's just like
swarm it.
All right, so do you guys like how they fucking they're army crawling, but they're like army crawling down the hill? That fucking destroys me. When they're
it's
like binoculars,
the slinky. I call it like the slinky worm because they're basically using gravity, so they're not really army crawling. They're just like, all right, I'm going next, and they just like they're like weaseling down. And this reminds me of like the old guy from Family Guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't have, his legs are dragging behind him. Their legs are just
It's I watched that and I was like, what? Professional did they choose to not hire for that day to advise them on how this actually would work? They're like, yeah, we army crawl, we get it. It's just like them just playing wiggle worm.
Yeah, the wiggle
hill.
worm. That's what it is. The wiggle worm game.
Yeah, I love how like when they're going to find the camp.
Yeah.
Like I love the one thing I love is how Billy like can pick up any trail.
Yeah.
And he's like, there was 12 gorillas. They came in from here. It was a firefight. Like he just knows all this shit from like tracking it.
Yeah.
And then like this is the other scene that I was talking about that like you hear about something but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And Poncho goes to Dutch. He goes, "Do you remember Afghanistan?"
Yeah.
He goes, "I'm trying to forget it." And I'm like, "Damn, dude! Like that's so sick."
Like they should have made another movie.
Yeah, it's like it's like it's just cool like how they just keep it there and they never talk about it again. But he's just like.
I mean, it's just a testament to the writing. But there's a really great scene or a great quote that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah,
it's a one-off line, and it reminds me of the one from like Roadhouse when he says "pain don't hurt." So there's a very similar line. I don't know what these like '80s movies. There was like must have been one guy that was like, I got another one for you. But the line where he's they're basically like in the middle of like the firefight, and he's like, "You're hit, man. You're bleeding." And Blaine goes, "I ain't got time to bleed." And then Pancho waits a second. He goes, "Oh, okay." And then he turns to him and he goes, "You got time to duck?" Boom, and just like shoots a grenade. But I love that. I think it's funny because he's almost like aware that he was like, that was kind of a weird thing to say. Like, you didn't need to say that you don't have time to bleed. Like,
yeah,
it was just so good.
I also love, speaking of pain, I love that they call the minigun the old painless.
Yeah.
Dude, he's like, painless. They call it that later. That thing is fucking nasty.
Yeah, but there's so many great, again, like with just the combat scenes. What's his name? Billy, who's like can find the trails.
Oh, yeah. He's one of my favorite. He's
cool.
Low-key, like, I think I like him more now.
Yeah,
like he
was cool. You're rooting for him. But I think it's funny, like as I was watching that, he would just basically be like, he was a great character to be like, we don't really have a ton of film to like fill in the dots plot wise, so we're just gonna get this guy in there that's like, yeah, I picked up a track, there were 5 guys, they went through here 2 weeks ago, and someone fired a gun over there, and then there was a thing over there, and you're like what the fuck? Awesome, thanks for using your nature skills. And you just believe it. Like,
it's like, oh, he's a tracker? Oh, yeah, he's got it.
Be like, yeah, dude, he looks cool as shit.
But when they stumble across the skin bodies at first, that is brutal.
Oh, dude, that part is crazy.
Yeah, and you're just like, okay,
it is nuts.
It's kind of gross.
And they, like,
you see his dog tag in the pile of the guts, basically.
He throws the dog tag to
Arnold.
To Arnold, and he goes, "I knew this man."
Yeah,
you know him. So that's when they start connecting the dots. Like, yo, what? Fucking mission?
Yeah, because the wheels start turning. Like, I don't think this is a rescue mission. And then after they do the
insurgents,
the guerrilla scene, after they then he starts really because Carl Weathers like, oh my god, look at all this paperwork. We got more than we thought we would. And he's like, and he grabs him and goes, you set us up.
Yeah, he throws him against the wall.
Yeah.
That is great.
And then he's like talking to him. And then these are such good lines when he's telling him about it. And he goes, so you cooked up a story and dropped the 6 of us in a meat grinder.
Yeah.
And then he's like saying, he tells him like, I woke up. Why don't you, like, you guys are expendable.
Yeah.
And he's like, my men are not expendable. And I don't do this kind of work.
And I don't do this kind of work.
It's so good. He just walks away.
It is so cool.
It's like, damn, dude.
It's nuts. But yeah, Keith, what scenes? And then we get into like the whole like.
So yeah, now we're in it. Now
we're in the thick of it.
We're like into the midway.
Which this is like where like I think a lot of these scenes are like pretty sick.
And
like, all of these kills are nuts. Like
Predator vision is so fucking sick. I love that thermal vision.
So they had to use for that one, they couldn't use infrared film because it couldn't register like the range of body temperature, basically. So they had to just use a thermal video scanner, and they just had to they had an idea of how they wanted to film it, like infrared, like all red and stuff, but it just wouldn't work. So they had to use like that thermal camera that you see, which I thought was pretty cool. And then
I'm sure it was probably a pain in the ass to figure out.
Oh yeah, but I had another cool fact: the cloaking effect. So they basically they shot the same part of the jungle, like with two different cameras essentially. So and the dude was wearing. So they had someone in a bright red suit because of the contrast with the jungle. Then they shot it again with a different camera angle, and basically they removed the red image, so to speak, and they layered it over top to give that kind of like wavy effect when they laid the two over. And I was like, oh, this is sick.
Not nauseating, but it's like kind of trippy when you're watching it.
It is kind of bizarre, but I think they did so many cool things to achieve like. I mean, it looks fucking sick. Yeah. Like all the Predators.
Even
cool.
What is it? 40 years later.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Cool as shit.
It holds up for sure.
Like it's like that futuristic thing you were talking about, where it's like, what's the future gonna look like?
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. The Predator is like invisible, kind of,
with its glow stick blood.
But like it's still cool as shit.
It is really cool.
Yeah. Then the kills. He starts obviously picking everybody off.
Yeah, and then the kills start,
and they start rolling in.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any were there any scenes like specifically with the kills that you wanted to talk about?
Well, Billy doing the last man standing out of nowhere, he just takes all his clothes off. And cuts himself with a knife. He's like, "Yeah, we're fucking doing this." And then they cut away, and then you hear him scream. Yeah. And then the next time you see him, he's just getting his skull and spine ripped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that the Predator keeps trophies
so
too.
Sick. Oh yeah,
which is sick.
It is so cool. But he just pulls out his spine in his head.
Yeah. I love how
you're like he's gonna need that.
Hawkins, when the girl escapes.
Yeah.
And then he goes, Hawkins, and he runs and gets her.
Yeah.
And then the Predator comes out and kills him.
Yeah.
And then Poncho goes, like, because they come up, they're like, oh, there's blood on her, like, what happened? And then Poncho comes out, he's like, Major, you might want to see this. And he's like, did you find Hawkins? And he goes, I can't tell.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then his eyes just like go wide, and he's like, what?
blood.
And
He's
he
like, oh,
looks,
fuck.
and he's like, he just sees him, and then like it pans up the tree, and you
Yeah.
see him hanging from the tree. Oh, dude, and
fucking
all the blood's
brutal.
running
Yeah,
down.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
That's the first kill. That's so.
That is the first
that's the
like out of the
first
team.
kill. Yeah, Hawkins is the first one,
And then it picks up like quick too. Like
yeah,
it does
because
not
then
stop.
then Blaine gets killed.
Yeah.
Dude, he
yeah.
gets just eviscerated.
Yeah.
Shot, like, right through his chest.
Well, he gets shot. It like grazes his arm, and he turns, and then
yeah,
it like blows through his chest.
Yeah.
And then
It's
remember, they're like
insane.
looking at him. They're like, the wounds are cauterized already. Like, what
Yeah.
could have done this to a man? Like,
Yeah, and that's when I think that's truly when they're like,
Fuck.
we are not alone
Yeah.
out here, which is sick.
It is not human.
And then that's when Max sees the Predator.
Yeah. Oh, when they're both
because his
like,
eyes, remember his eyes go vroom, and it's
Yeah.
like yellow, and he's like, oh, and he just starts
And they start
shooting.
shooting,
And
yeah.
I love this scene because like nobody asks questions; they all just run
They're
up.
all
and
just
They're
like,
standing
They're just-
fire. They probably waste thousands of
oh yeah,
ammo.
it's
They're
pretty
just, like-
funny though.
they're just killing.
And that,
like-
that scene goes on for at least a whole minute straight.
Oh,
They're
them just
shooting.
firing,
'Cause
yeah,
They're just firing,
yeah,
and then I love how Poncho comes back,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're like, he's like, "What'd you find?" And he goes, "No blood, no bodies. We hit nothing.
We hit nothing.
And it's like, what? Like
Yeah.
out of all those fucking bullets,
You didn't hit
they
shit.
didn't hit anything.
Yeah, that's
Even
well,
though
don't
there was blood, you do see it bleed off.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
But-
only the girl sees it though.
Yeah.
But isn't-
Thank
I
God
think
she was
later-
there. They would have never somehow figured out that
Yeah.
it was like an alien.
Yeah,
Well, I think isn't there's a line later like after they finally do like wound it. I think when it's basically like they see blood and he goes, if it bleeds we can kill
Yeah,
it,
that's
which
so
is
good.
such an
That's my
awesome
favorite
line.
line.
Yeah,
If it
And you-
bleeds, we can kill
and
it.
you said it earlier when the Predator's fixing his leg because
Yeah.
he got shot,
yeah,
and he like has this like tool,
The
and
med
he's-
kit?
he's like,
Yeah.
"Choo!" and he's like,
the stim pack,
and he like
Yeah.
lets
Oh,
out
really?
a
It does
yell,
look like the stim
yeah,
pack.
it really does.
and that's the first time you see the Predator in its not camo phase,
And that's easily 40 minutes in, 45
yeah,
minutes in,
and you're like, what the fuck? But that's so cool.
it is. There's
Yeah, well, that's what I love that scene because it's just I don't know.
yeah,
Just seeing him like it's like he's like you don't know anything about him yet
Yeah.
except that he's obviously not of this world, but he's smarter.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
smart. He's
He
figured
can
out.
fix his own
He's like a
legs,
soldier.
and
Yeah.
like now the team's just.
oh, they're fucking
They're
scared,
And they're asking
yeah.
Mac, like, what did you see? And he just keeps going, those eyes. They disappeared. Like,
Yeah,
And then how
he,
he
he's bugging.
dies is crazy.
yeah. He
Yeah.
talk us through it, Keith. Go
When he,
ahead.
oh,
yeah,
well, okay, so it's crazy, but also kind of funny. So the three. So then I think this is the first time you see the 3-prong.
yeah. His
laser,
little like.
right?
I think you see like I think
it
you
light
might
up.
see like his blaster. I don't think you connect the dots that the 3 little lasers are his gun
Yeah.
until now.
So that shows up on his arm, and then he looks at it. He's like, oh shit, and then it just shows up on his face, and then you see his head see it shoot him, and his head just explodes like a watermelon.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
great.
crazy.
So it
that's
just
a great
explodes.
scene.
You're like, holy fucking shit, that's crazy. His
It
head
is.
is gone. And
Yeah.
then when Carl Weathers finds him, his head's there.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. Because like I'm like, well,
really
they
is,
missed
yeah.
that, but
Like,
they
alright.
have to show that it's still the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably. My thought was they probably couldn't get away with showing a decapitated dude. For some
Yeah,
reason.
so they
Like they could show the
yeah.
skin guy, but for some reason I bet you
they're like
NDA
where
was
we
like,
draw a line.
Yeah, it can't show his
yeah.
head missing. That's X-rated. So
Yeah.
they're like, oh okay, just put his head back on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So one of the scenes I love is when they're like all freaking out because like people are dying now,
Yeah.
and Poncho's like, and Billy's just staring off into the like woods.
Yeah, he
And
is the best character. I think
Yeah,
now
he's
that
awesome.
we've been
Billy's
talking about
great.
him, Billy's the man. He's the best.
awesome.
But Poncho goes, "You know something, Billy. What is it?" And he goes, "I'm scared, Poncho." He's like, "Bullshit. You ain't afraid of no man." And he goes, "There's something out there waiting for us, and it ain't no man." And he goes,
Damn.
"We're all gonna die." It's like your
Nuts.
most badass guy
Yeah.
in the crew just said you're all gonna die.
all
I'd be
gonna
like,
die.
"Fuck."
Yeah, we got
Like,
no
I gotta
fucking
get
shot.
out of here.
Yeah, like,
yeah, that's awesome.
If the tracker says we're dead, And
then we're probably dead.
He's the one with the most survival skills out of all of us.
He was able to tell what the crew ate for lunch 3 days ago because he smelled a fart on the wind. We are fucking cooked.
I also love that they don't really explain it, but the whole guerrilla thing is like some weird conflict between Soviets and somewhere in South America, and whoever country they're in. It's just like a coup of.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Of like just two criminal countries that are just like. But it just goes completely wrong. It's just like so.
Yeah, it's classic. It's like
so
classic
like
80s action
like,
plot.
Do we actually know like what's happening?
They're like, there's just like a vague enemy based on current events.
And classic 80s is when they start setting all the traps.
Oh, dude.
And like they're all shirtless, just pulling pulling the ropes. Their muscles are just bulging out, and then she tells that story about
Anna, the captive,
young.
right?
When she was young, they told a story of, and then she goes, the demon who makes trophies of man. Yeah, which I think is so fucking badass.
Sick. But then I guess later on, well, that's why they rip out the spine, and then at the end, like very end, I'm obviously like we're just
when they're.
He's like polishing all the skulls and stuff. And you're like, oh, that's awesome.
That smoke.
It's
Then, like takes all the skin, like all the blood and skin off.
It's so
he's
cool.
polishing it, and it keeps coming back from him and Arnold. And Arnold is as he's polishing the skull, Arnold's putting on his paint again. It's like it's a pretty cool shot.
And then they figure out that like he's saying like he's killing us one at a time.
Yeah.
And then Billy's like a hunter.
Yeah.
And then that's when he's using the trees, like and he goes through all that thing. That's so cool.
But I think the moment they realized like we are being hunted, I love that whole. I think that like all of the creepiness culminates to like that one line where they were like, "We're being hunted out here," and you're like, "Oh, that's so good." But yeah, dude, the rest of the kills are like just fucking. They all happen so like. Everyone's fine for a while in this movie, and then everyone dies in 10 minutes.
Well, Poncho gets crushed by that log.
Yeah.
When the predator comes in and gets in the thing, and then the log falls down, and he gets crushed in the chest.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you're hurt. He's hurt really bad, Major." And he's like, "I can make it.
Yeah, he's like, I got it. I'm doing it."
And then they're carrying him, and then the predator just shoots him in the head.
And you're like, "Oh,
it's like, damn,
that's a laser blast, like Star Wars, and that's it."
Yeah, laser blast. That's when Arnold gets hit in the shoulder. And that's when he delivers the iconic line, "Get to the chopper,
get to the chopper,
go, Rod, get to the chopper."
I do love that he said like that. It's so good. Yeah. There was a scene I was going to talk about. I can't remember, but a lot of all the kills are just like. So good in this.
And then Carl Weathers loses his arm. He gets blasted.
And it's still firing, and he turns around with
because him and Mac, he goes with Mac to try to get it, and then Predator gets both of them.
And literally, he's like, after Anna leaves, he's just alone. There's no one left alive. Like, everyone gets killed except for...
Can we talk about how far he fucking falls into the water?
Yeah.
Like, when he's running, and he's like, and he slides down the hill, and then it's just like, how far is that drop? Like,
dude... So speaking of that, so the first time he falls, it kind of looks like him, like it could be him. It's probably not. But the second waterfall he hits is the funniest stuntable of all time. Like I'm not even a guy that looks for that shit. I was like, well, that's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has,
but it was really like
he has
obvious.
Like a full set of like a full head of like long hair, and like it doesn't look like it could be him at all. I was like, dude, come on. Turn him backwards or something, like something. I was like, that is not even believable.
That's pretty.
Funny. I guess in like VHS time. It might have been obscured enough that you couldn't see it, but
the
I was
screen
like,
blur.
I was just dying when I was watching it. We were watching. I was like, "That's not even Arnold."
Well, the best is when he finally falls in the last pool of water, and he's swimming, and he finally gets to the mud, and he's just like he's finally taking a breather. Like, okay, I'm fine. And then in the background, you just hear, whoosh, and
that's sick.
The predator falls.
It's like the ripples in the water.
You see like a big splash, and it's like he's like, oh fuck, like it's the predator like in his camo gear, like you can't see him.
Yeah,
it's so good, dude. That's when he puts all the mud.
But then I guess the water fucks up the predator's like cloaking device.
Yeah,
and now it's like for the rest of the movie, the predator's out. Like there's no reason for him to hide, basically. But then I think it's cool because then like after. Now Arnold is like can't be seen, so it's literally like the whole thing's reversed. Like it was like, oh, the predator was invisible, and now Arnold's invisible. And I think like both of those sections of movie come together in like that final like face-off scene, and it's so cool.
Yeah, because the Predator runs off.
Yeah,
because he can't see him, and then fucking Arnold goes into the whole thing where he starts making traps.
Yeah, he's back
dude,
into
he
the
makes
trap.
that bow and arrow.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, dude, when he bends that bow and arrow to his back, and everything is just popping. I was like,
Dude.
oh, dude.
Dude, he's like just he fucking and then when he shoots the bow and arrow, it goes like halfway through the tree. I'm like, holy shit, dude!
But that freaking double bicep, whatever he's doing, like that, just fucking that shot. I was like, oh, brother.
Then he lights that torch.
Yeah, there was no way they weren't going to have him.
Oh yeah,
do some wild fitness stuff.
He's like, you gotta give me one shot, dude.
Then he lights the torch and lets out that yell to get the Predator to come.
Yeah, do the yell for us, Jack.
And then I think it's so cool. He chucks the torch and it just lights up the whole camp.
It's smart because if he realizes, like, the way I interpret that scene is like he realizes that like the body heat is like what he can detect. So if he lights the whole thing on fire, he's camouflaged. Like he cannot be seen.
And then when he's trying to lead him to the trap,
he's like, "I'm here, kill me,
dude!" And when he falls in the water. And then he could be seen.
Yeah. You're like, fuck.
And then it's so fucking cool when the Predator puts his two prongs swing right
next to his head.
And it's right next to his head. He can't move his head.
It's so sick.
He's like, fuck. And that's when he takes the mask off. And he goes, "You're one ugly motherfucker."
Dude. The unmasked Predator is a fucking gnarly existence.
It's got like the mandibles.
Yeah. And I think so that was when I was saying they redid the Predator costume. That part of the second one, they wanted those little like things on its face, and they were like, "Oh, that looks way cool."
Apparently, James Cameron had something to do with that.
Yeah,
he said, "I've always wanted to see something with mandibles," and then Stan Winston was like,
was like, "I got you. I could maybe do that. I could take care of that."
But in this fight, dude, Arnold's getting his fucking ass.
He has no business winning this fight at all.
When you see the Predator next to him, you're like, holy fuck, dude. Yeah. And then he's just getting punched and there's just blood flying out.
Yeah, that is sick.
Dude. You're like, holy shit, dude. Like,
yeah, that's pretty great. There's just like, then even I like just for like the larger lore of these movies. Like, I like that I think I said this at the beginning, but like finding a worthy opponent. Like, you can tell that like he has his little like laser gun and stuff like that. Takes off his mask, and when he drops that, you're like, let's fucking go. Like, it's so cool.
Mano y mano.
Yeah, mano
and he's like,
y mano.
And the Predator's like, you could tell he's smart. Like, he's not as stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
so this is this is another tangent, and this isn't related to this movie. And Jack, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to talk about this.
No, you're good.
So this, I would say it's like this movie and then Alien, kind of two separate movies in this time, and then they would obviously bring them together as like Alien versus Predator. I had this take that I think what makes this like the Predator a lot cooler than like some other monster movies of this time, like The Thing. Like it's a strict like creature, like a monster. But I like the idea that these predators, like quote unquote predators, are like smart. It's like a civilized. You can tell that they come from like a very technologically advanced. So it's not like they're using technology.
Yeah.
I just think that adds like. It's almost like that when they landed, it was like, oh, I'm just going to drop in and like play around with like the local things that I find, basically. Like, I like that idea.
They have like their own shit.
Yeah,
and
it's just so cool.
And you can tell it's smart because when he's laying in the trap, he wants it to come in because he's gonna,
and he grabs
and he grabs the thing, he's looking at it, and he like looks at him and goes around, and Arnold's like, fuck.
Yeah. Like, I do love that scene. He's like, come on, kill me.
Yeah, he's
hey,
I'm right here.
You got me.
And he's like, but he's like...
It's like Arnold, dude. And even an alien knows you're
He's like, you really put a leaf on this to try to...
He's like,
But then he ends up getting him with the fucking column of death.
Well, yeah. Because he goes into the spot and he chops it and...
The
I was like, damn! Out of all of them, that's how he's gonna fucking go out. The column of death. He can't do a fucking barrel roll all the way.
And then he's gonna hit him with the rock.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "What are you?" Like he like stops because
he's like, I need something. Thing? Yeah.
And that's what he says.
His little iPad kid.
He says, "What are you?" And then he says back. You said earlier, he's like, "What are you?"
And then he laughs too. And then he starts.
He does the Billy laugh.
I love it
because Billy laughs because he tells him the joke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you can. That's an earlier scene where you hear him laugh through the vision of.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
Those jokes
are
hilarious.
so-
Yeah, it's nuts. So do we have any but that's like I like that we kind of did the plot at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like just so we could kind of blow through these, but I think like all the really cool scenes, I didn't really have any other ones that I like super wanted to talk about. Did you guys have any other like phone facts? Are there any other cool quotes that you
I
wanted
got
to
a
talk
couple
about?
phone facts.
Run 'em
I'm gonna go
Bring us home.
Let's see. So apparently they used to all like battle each other working out
Yeah.
for this, and Jesse Ventura wanted to measure bicep sizes with him and Arnold. So Arnold told the wardrobe to tell him that his arms were an inch bigger. So then Jesse's going around telling, "Oh, my arms are bigger than Arnold. Oh, this big bodybuilder." And then he said, "All right, let's measure arms, and the winner gets a bottle of champagne." And Ventura lost.
That's pretty great.
And then also with that, he pulled a prank. Ventura pulled a prank. He got there at like 4 a.m. and dumped water on him and acted like he had been working out.
Oh, that's great.
So then they all were like trying to one up each other. So all of a sudden they were in the gym at like 3 a.m. working out like before the shoot.
That's insane. I love that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently they had like where they actually filmed it. They shipped gym equipment to Mexico where they were filming a lot of this movie. So they had like a whole gym.
Oh, yeah, they were
set up
oh, yeah.
on.
They were
on
freaking
set,
goosed
which
for
is,
every
like,
shot. They were goosed, man.
Yeah.
They were definitely like in pump for every scene.
Yeah, it's
Like when he's holding that gun, you're just like, okay, dude.
Oh yeah, when he's holding that machine gun.
What
with
you
one
get
arm.
you get a little forearm bicep,
so
little chest press before this.
the I did think another little fact that I saw here, which I don't want to steal your
No,
thunder
you're
if
good.
this was one that you had, but I think McTiernan and Schwarzenegger both lost 25 pounds, like roughly during this. Like they both lost a lot of weight to get into shape. And Arnold's was purely from working out. Like he just like shredded.
Yep.
And the other guy, it was because he got food poisoning in Mexico where they were filming. Like while
talking
they were
about the
filming.
A
director?
lot of the crew got.
Yeah, he
like,
said it was like basically
sick.
traveler's
Holy
stomach.
shit.
They were
Yeah.
in Mexico,
Yeah.
and they were like the
Ew.
place they stayed had like problems with filtration, and like
Well, that's even like
lot
a
of
thing
them got
now. Like
sick.
if you go to like if American like as a like an American, if
Yeah.
you go to Mexico, it's like there's
I went last year and
your
I got
stomach
s-
might get. Did you get sick?
I got sick as shit.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, but
But-
you imagine filming in the heat, like trying to carry all this shit in the jungle, and you're
Yeah.
like, or like have the shits. Basically,
They said there
That
were
would be
scenes
awful.
where McTiernan would yell "cut" and they would all run to the bathroom. Like they'd be
Jeez.
like,
Oh my god, dude,
But,
that's crazy.
apparently, Billy Sonny Landau
Yeah.
had such a bad temper that the studio's insurance company would not agree to insure the production unless a bodyguard was handled for Sonny Landau.
What the fuck was he doing?
Was he just like fuming basically?
Well, he would go out and drink like crazy and
Oh,
then just
awesome.
fight people. like
That's a good combination.
he would kill a guy. Like if he was
Damn.
fighting, like he was that's why they were like, no, we need and it was a bodyguard
Yeah.
not to protect him,
Yeah.
to protect him from himself.
I don't know if that's badass or if it's like go talk to a therapist.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
That's wild.
Dude, that's
Um,
crazy.
But then, so the original plot was just supposed to be Dutch versus the Predator.
Oh, there wasn't supposed to be
It wasn't
anyone
supposed
else.
to team.
That's pretty cool.
And then, but Schwarzenegger thought it was a bad idea, so they rewrote to have the whole team, which I like much better.
I think the team dynamic,
The team
like,
is the best.
Yeah,
because then they
that's-
pick it off. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I like how they get picked off one by one.
it builds like. I mean, we talked about this, Keith, when you and I did the very first movie, Jaws. When you what you don't see is scarier. Like, so
Oh,
if you
yeah.
have this like this whole vibe of like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like this team of elite badass dudes is being picked off like it's nothing. Like, I think it adds to the movie.
And talk about that, Predator only has 8 minutes of screen time.
Really?
Yep.
Damn. Jean-Claude pissed.
Yeah, that's what
why
he's
he
like.
didn't do it. Yeah.
No way.
It's like, I'm wasting my time.
He's like, you know what I mean? I can't get a training montage in that suit.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna tell me
can
I
do the
can't
splits.
do. I was gonna say, you're gonna tell me I can't do a split. And this, you see the Predator up on the tree like, with his legs.
How
They're
does
like,
he
they're
do
like,
this?
"God." You know,
Like, how are we gonna fight that guy? He's Gumby.
It's wild.
You can't shoot him.
I also
So
read.
was a Predator fighting the Kumite after this?
I read part of the shoot was 48 hours before Arnold Schwarzenegger's wedding to Maria Shriver.
Oh my god!
And she was pissed because his mind was more on the film than instead of the wedding.
That's wild.
And Jesse Ventura kept like busting on him about his nuptials and stuff.
Yeah.
Film debut of Jesse Ventura. Carl Weathers was always the first choice to play Dylan.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I mean, he just came off of, like, with Apollo Creed. He was like another big name at the time.
And
like,
then this is
God,
to your
he's the
point.
man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, seriously.
Of Alien. Because when the script was pitched around Hollywood, the shorthand description was Alien in the Jungle.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Oh, that makes
That's
sense.
pretty sick. Wasn't I read, just to build off of that, also the working title of this movie was Hunter.
Yeah.
So it was changed to Predator,
which is
much
so
later.
much
But I don't know, Hunter's pretty cool.
I
mean,
think-
Predator
I
has
think
like
Predator
that vibe
is,
of like, yeah, maybe you're right.
I just like Predator, like how it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same without it.
In another universe, there's 3 dipshits sitting here being like, man, I don't know, I don't think Predator's as good as Hunter. Yeah.
I got 2 more. Film debut of Shane Black.
Okay.
So 2 debuts there. And then Jim Hopper, the skin Green Beret that they find in the tree.
Yeah.
Apparently the Duffer Brothers got the name for their character Sheriff Jim Hopper in Stranger Things from that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that show's fucking killing.
Oh,
it
Yeah,
love
these
that
days.
shit.
that's
it's so
80s
good.
everything, so that makes a lot of sense.
So those are my phone facts. I mean,
I think that. Yeah, I mean, I think that. Did you have any other? Keith, do you have any lines or anything?
No,
that you wanted
no.
to do?
So real quick. So we were talking about this at work. Alien, Predator. How do you, if you had to pick
Ooh.
one, 79 Alien or 87 Predator, and then Aliens or Predator 2? I think, like, if you had to pick one, that's better than the other, or is it non-comparable?
I'm
Wait,
saying.
it's hard.
As both as a
So if you
whole?
say if you had to pick one, first Alien, first Predator.
All right, I'm going Predator for sure on that one.
You're going Predator?
I'm going Predator. Yeah.
It's tough because they're so different to
Oh my
me.
god, that is so hard.
Because I think Predator,
Alien is
But
Predator-
I'm going Predator
Yeah.
because
Because
it's
your
my
top 3. Yeah.
But I love Alien is.
yeah, that's
It
what
is
I
very
mean.
good.
I think to me they're too different. That
But I
it's-
like how there's. This is what I'm talking about with my friend at work. Is like I like how there's one fucking creature.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like an army of zombies.
You know,
or
like
something,
it's like
yeah.
Aliens. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
Predator 2.
they have
there's-
they have the
There's
tribe.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a couple.
There's the whole
three.
So I
bunch,
like
Yeah.
how there's like one
Yeah.
creature that they're trying to get away from, and they can't. Like
Yeah.
it's just like
I do think that's pretty sick.
I like that. I like that part. Yeah.
What are you doing, Keith?
I don't know. I just think the first 2 are almost like incomparable to me.
Yeah.
Because one is just like that dread in space. This is like high octane action
Yeah.
into the dread in the far. I don't know. I think I go Alien.
Think this one, I think Predator is more like relatable. Is not the word I want to use, but like,
yeah, like I could just
be like, yeah, dude, I'm a Predator.
I got
That
an
was a
old
wild
painless
thing.
minigun. I could probably fucking take them out.
But no, I mean, think about like, have you like if you've if you're hiking or something like that?
Oh,
Can you
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
If you got
You're-
trapped out there,
you have
and
a
then someone
better
was
shot.
hunting you, that sucks.
Nobody's taking you to space.
Yeah, no
you
one's
have a better
taking you
shot
to
at being
space.
this. But I think the sequels, though, Aliens smokes
Aliens
Predator
is-
2.
Aliens- yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't like the
Aliens
whole
is
like,
like one of the
Yeah.
best movies.
yeah, I didn't like they did the whole like Home Alone 2, but but Predators. Like I was just like I don't really give a shit. Like
Two, but Predators.
like I don't care. Like it's
Yeah. I would say Aliens is better than
Yeah.
Predator 2.
I
I like
think
Predator 2, but
I think I'm going to take
it's-
Alien and Aliens together.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to take it that
Okay.
way.
All
I have no beef with Predator. It's obviously an incredible movie, and it's top
Sounds
movie
like
for
you
me,
do.
too.
well. How about if anyone's listening out there? What do you guys think?
Or-
I want
or give us
someone.
the-
I want
or
a
C.
single person to respond to Keith's question.
A, B, or C. C is it's too incomparable, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that too because they really
DM
are.
us. Send us an email at whatawewatching@gmail.com. Yeah, I like that. Let's see if anyone responds. All right.
All right, guys, is it time to get to the chopper?
Get to the job. Is that the quote?
No. I think there's one superior
man.
quote.
Someone give us a quote to ring us out.
I got one.
You're up.
No blood, no bodies. We hit nothing.
There it
Until
is.
next time.